Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our little classroom here. And we have a guest today, a special guest. Her name is Stacy. Stacy, say hi to everybody.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. Stacy, tell us why you're vegan to begin with. And well, let's just start there. That's enough. Why are you vegan?
Wait, we're getting an echo.
You are getting an echo? Uh-oh. She's getting an echo.
Hold on. It might be me.
I think it's just you because we have
It
a
is
sound
me.
person checking. So tell me, why are you vegan? There's 60 people watching and they want to know, why is she vegan?
Why am I vegan? I am vegan for the animals and for justice alone. Because it's the right thing to do.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry about that echo in the beginning. I did
okay.
not realize I had that on.
It's okay. So Stacy, you are from the United States and you've been vegan for how long?
I am in Cincinnati, Ohio. I have been vegan for 15 years.
Okay. And you look pretty healthy?
I haven't died of protein deficiency yet. So
no, it could be tomorrow though. You never know. Could be tomorrow.
I think it will be tomorrow.
Maybe.
Because I'm feeling pretty crappy today. So
well, you look fine. All right. So I've been vegan since June 27th, 2016. For me, it's coming up to 5 years. And same here. I've been vegan because I found out what happens to the animals. And I just couldn't live with myself knowing that I was hurting them. And I imagine you're in the same position. Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, when I first went vegan, I didn't know everything. I shouldn't say that because I didn't go vegan until I knew everything. But when I was going that way, I didn't know everything, but that was 15 years ago. And we didn't have the internet like we have now.
Yes, that's the great thing about the internet. So if anybody has any questions, you can ask us questions. We're going to be talking about intersectionality. Do you want to talk a little bit about intersectionality right now? Maybe explain to people. You did in a video, I noticed, and it was great, but try to explain to people who don't understand, what does intersectionality have to do with the animal rights movement right now?
Intersectionality has nothing to do with the animal rights movement. That was the point of the video.
Okay, so tell us why, because a lot of people think that it does. And they say that unless you're talking about all of the other issues, then you are not a true vegan, because you should be. Well, first, let's define intersectionality.
Well, oh God, you should have maybe, I actually pointed out the definition. It was originally meant to be an intersection between race and gender. And it was supposed to have to be about being a black woman. Do you understand what I mean by that? So being black and being a woman, and the intersectionality between that. That was the original definition. And it has since transcended into incorporating everything. And it has
okay, so let's just talk about that for a second. So let's say I'm an animal rights activist, and I am also part of another minority, such as I'm a lesbian or I'm black. And what is going on right now is that people are saying that these things do matter, because if you are oppressed yourself, it is something that we need to talk about, because all oppression is connected. Now, animal rights activists, some of them agree with that and some don't. Some say that your personal experience is not really what's important right now, whether you identify as LGBTQ or a dark-skinned person, because there's not just black people who have darker skin, or whether you feel that you are discriminated because of age or because of your socioeconomic class. These are all things that people talk about. And the argument is that this takes away from the animals. The focus is the animals. They are the ones living a Holocaust right now. And yes, we must care about all of these other issues, but what they're doing is they are tearing the movement apart. Because instead of us talking about the animals, people are blaming each other. They're saying, well, if you talk about the Holocaust that the animals are going through, this is doing a disservice to the Jewish people. It is not fair to them. That's the argument. Myself, personally, I have talked to Jewish people who understand that this is exactly why we should use the word Holocaust. because it never ended.
Well,
Do you have any
Holocaust.
opinion?
The word Holocaust doesn't belong to the Jewish people, and I'm sorry if that offends. Oh my God. I'm sorry if that offends any Jewish people that are out there. There has been other Holocausts. And Seb Alex, you corrected me on my video. Seb Alex.
Okay.
Seb Alex is a great, he's a great, he does great videos. He's a great activist. Sonia Say the same. They do great videos on
I'm going to
this.
write down these names. So Seb, Alex, somebody can write it in there because
I feel muted and I feel kind of weird with my earphones in. So excuse me if I.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So Seb, Alex, that's SEB, and the next name is Alex. Is that the last name?
Yeah, he's a great activist. You haven't heard of him. If you haven't heard of him,
I'm just making sure that that everybody else understands. Thank you so much, Stefania. Stefania is such a great supporter. Thank you so much, Stefania.
I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, the Holocaust. Holocaust is not exclusive to the Jewish people, and I'm sorry for what happened to the Jewish people.
Of course, it was terrible. It was absolutely horrific.
Awful. But it's not exclusive to them. And the thing is that all of our discriminations and oppressions, everything that has happened to humans was first tested on animals.
Okay.
And it continues. It continues with the animals. And we ignore it.
Many people don't actually know that gas chambers exist still, and that pigs. Yes, thank you. Thank you for putting that there on the screen. That's great. That's helpful. If anybody wants to look at those names, I'm going to write it down myself to make sure that I go and check. I don't know if I know who Sonia Say is. So, okay.
Well, so I did correct my video. Thank you for that critique. I did correct my video, and I went back and I gave those links. So.
Oh, okay, cool. That's great. What was I saying? Yeah, many people don't know that pigs are still murdered in gas chambers. A lot of people really have no idea what goes on in the animal industry. They don't understand. They think that animals live on a farm that look like McDonald's farm from their childhood storybooks, and they think that they just have a quick death. What they don't realize is that it is excruciating for their entire lives what they go through. Factory farming is hell on earth. It is absolutely no different than what the Jewish people suffered through. And I have no problem using the word Holocaust. And yet, this is what
Holocaust means a burnt offering. What do you think our barbecue pits are? You know? What do you think our barbecue pits, our stoves, our stovetops, our ovens? What do you think those are? That's where you burn the flesh. That's a burnt offering. And it doesn't mean, Holocaust does not mean the eradication of a race. It does not mean the eradication. It means the suffering and the killing, and it doesn't mean the total eradication of a race.
My point is that I have been told by Jewish people who are vegan now because they see these parallels that I have the green light from them to go ahead. And I've also had the green light from the dark-skinned community, people who've reached out to me and told me, yes, you can equate it to slavery. What the animals go through is slavery. They are imprisoned. They are forced to do what we tell them to do, whether it's in a circus, whether it's at the zoo, whether it's in all kinds of different places. They are put onto assembly lines. They are forcibly placed there for our benefit. And it is absolutely not okay. Animals are here with us, not for us.
Exactly. And I mean, we're all the human race, so I don't really.
Sorry, you just blanked out there. You just froze for a second. We're all the human race. I didn't hear the rest.
Yeah, we're all the human race. So I don't really know why we have to get a go-ahead from one race or another that suffered this or that, because I think all races have suffered a genocide or some kind of injustice. Even I mean, at one point or another. I'm part American Indian, and even though I'm just a part of that, I'm also a part probably European. And so am I guilty or am I innocent? I don't. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So am
Yeah.
I allowed to stand up for one or the other, or I have to be a certain skin color? There are plenty of Black people that stand up against this injustice. There are plenty of Indigenous people that stand up against this
Mm-hmm.
injustice. That's why I started my whole series about vegans across the world, is
Okay.
because I was tired of hearing that you can't be vegan in Mongolia, for
Okay.
example. I think that's racist to say that. I think it's racist. And I
Yeah.
did I did an interview with vegans in Mongolia to show that that's not true. And I think it's racist to say it is, that you can't be vegan in Mongolia. And I think they felt the
I
same.
agree. I agree. I think it is racist because there are individuals everywhere around the world, no matter what their skin color, their age, their religion, their gender identity, who are able to be vegan. And being vegan means you try your best at all times not to hurt the animals. There's a comment on the screen. Do you want to read the comments when they pop up?
Sure. Being vegan is good, but you're sending the message the wrong way. Tell us, what's the wrong way?
Yeah.
Mongolia is low in population. Yeah, they have 3 million people, but yet they have like 4 loving huts. That's more than I have in Ohio, where I live. They have 4 loving huts in Mongolia. Watch my video.
What's a loving hut?
Loving hut. Oh, you don't know what a loving hut is?
Well, you know what? Maybe I do, but I think there's probably hundreds who might not. So yeah,
I don't think about that because I've been vegan for so long.
That's right.
A loving hut is a restaurant that the only qualifications to have their name is to be fully vegan menu and to show the Supreme Master Television. Supreme Master Television, if you don't know what that is, just look it up. Okay, it's on YouTube. It's a streaming television. It's spiritual. You don't have to watch it. It's just on the television. But the only stipulation to using Loving Hut's name is to have a completely vegan menu. They're all over the world. And there's like 4 of them in Mongolia. So with only a 3 million population, they have like 4 of them. So don't tell me you can't be vegan there. That's racist.
Okay. So the loving hut part, that I get. What are you talking about? Something streaming on a TV? That part I don't know.
Supreme Master Television. If you're into spirituality and all that stuff, you can watch it. I'm not into it personally, but it doesn't bother me. It's just on the television. You just have to play it.
In the restaurant, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
They just have to have a screen that's showing Supreme Master Television. It's on YouTube. Just go to suprememastertv.com.
Okay, but what does that have to do with anything? What's being shown? And you also have the voice, so it's like instead of CNN on the wall of a restaurant, like
it's kind of like CNN.
Okay,
but it's for spirituality and it's for veganism.
Is it like bizarre, like with crystals and the Flat Earth Society, or what's going on there?
No, I don't. Okay. I mean, it depends on what you think is bizarre.
Well,
it's just about spirituality.
Do they believe in science? Are they science-based?
Or obviously, I don't follow it enough to tell you. So
okay, well, all right. Well,
I mean, it's all about spirituality. It's kind of like being a yogi or whatever. They just talk about peace around the world.
Okay.
You know, if you're interested in it, look at it, but you don't have to go in and get the food.
Yeah. It sounds good. I mean, I don't want to trash it. It just, I find that we have to be careful sometimes. I think you know what I'm saying, that sometimes you get vegans who are really caring for the animals and all that is great, but then sometimes they go off and they say some weird stuff that is not really science-based or not factual, and I am all about the science and the facts. So you want to read this one on the screen now?
Yes, I would love to read this one. People expect us vegans to have answers to every single thing. Scientists don't have answers to everything. We research as much as possible, and for a fact, the animals are in pain. Do better. Be kind.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Cammie.
Thank you, Cammie, for that message. Do you, I remember when I was first vegan and people would ask me questions all about, well, where are you going to get your omega-3? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just vegan for the animals. Like, I'm just not eating any more
Did they know
animals.
where the fuck they got their omega-3 before that?
That's right, right? Like, and then it was like, well, how many millions of animals are of a mink or whatever are being, murdered every? I was like, I don't know. I don't wear animals. I don't, like at first you feel like you're bombarded with questions about every single animal, about every single mineral, every vitamin, every nutrient. You're supposed to have like a 4-year degree in like nutrition and another one in biology. It's ridiculous. We are
None of these people
vegans.
know where they're getting their protein when they're stuffing their faces with McDonald's. None of them know. They have no idea how much protein they're getting.
Right.
Until you say something about veganism.
That's right. But my point is what I'm trying to tell people is, if you have a heart for the animals and you understand that you can be 100% healthy as a vegan, that's where you start. Be vegan. And when people ask you questions, just say, you know what? I'm going to go and research that, get back, and then do it. That's all. You don't need to be a professional. You don't need to know every single thing about every nutrient, how much vitamin C is in that glass of orange juice, or how much protein is in that block of tofu. You will figure it out, and you will eventually become smarter and smarter. I have been vegan almost 5 years, and I know nothing. I am just starting to realize how much there is to know.
But see, that's the thing. It's like I became vegan 15 years ago. I didn't know shit about the internet. I still don't, to be honest with you. I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to do my channel. I'm still learning how to edit. And I still know how to Google. That's the first thing I learned. And if you don't know how to Google in this day and age, then I can't help you. Okay? I just seriously, if you're on here and you're trolling and you don't know how to use Google, then you are using your time in the wrong way.
Okay, but so I think it needs to be, I think everyone knows how to use Google, I'm going to say. But I think the problem is that also with Google, you can type in anything and get whatever answer you want nowadays, right? So you have to research. No, but it's not necessarily right. If you type in, is meat good for you? The meat industry has a ton of articles on there that will try to tell you that it's good for you.
Well, that has to do with whether or not you're a discerning mind. I mean, you have to, you got to go into it and like look at opposite, opinions. I feel that way with everything. You have to look at opposite opinions, whether it be on YouTube or Google or anything. You've got to look at opposite opinions before you make up your mind about anything.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments here and I don't see any good questions. If anybody has a good question or something worthwhile, like this is what I'm seeing in the comment section. Here's what I'm seeing. Okay, veganism is wrong. Like, this is not helping the situation. Like, how does that even help?
How is it wrong, Jackson? How is it wrong? Just you know what? You can't just leave a comment that says veganism is wrong if you don't have a freaking argument.
Right. Here's something that's a good advice. Follow direct action everywhere. Do you want to talk about direct action?
I have nothing to do with them, so I don't know anything to say.
Okay, I will. I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
Direct Action Everywhere is a group of people that are based in Berkeley in California, and they believe in doing direct action, meaning to physically move yourself, move your body away from your computer and go and do stuff in the environment. And that means to show up with a sign somewhere, to go and do a protest or a disruption, with the idea of filming it and getting attention, not to yourself for vanity reasons, but to get attention to the animals, to the cause of the animals, to get people to watch the important documentaries. For example, in Australia, there is somebody, she's a young woman, I think she's about 27. Her name is Tash Peterson, and she goes by the name of Vegan Booty. And she goes and she stands in McDonald's and she does disruptions. She stands with a sign. She sometimes dresses up like a cow to show that how the cows are exploited in the dairy industry, and she holds a sign and she says, "Watch Dominion." So her entire goal is to get people to go and watch this important documentary, which talks about the incredible sadness and exploitation that goes on in the industry. And that is what direct action does.
I have a lot of respect for Tash Peterson. I give much, I give her a lot of support on her posts. I love what she does. It's not my style. It's not my style, but you know what? More power to her.
And that's a great little comment there, because we all have a different style. I mean, I was on TikTok and I was doing little songs and little dances because I was having fun doing that. And I would wear shirts. I don't know if you can see this, but I wear different shirts. And I would get the message across to a lot of young people. Then I got kicked off because of cancel culture. It's absolutely ridiculous, but that's what happened. And now I'm here on my YouTube channel, and I do still have a TikTok account. I'll always have one. It's just that I don't give out the address publicly anymore, so they don't shut me down. But I am doing outreach out there anyway, and supporting many other TikTokers. That's a really important thing, is to support other activists.
Always support anybody out there putting the message out. Whether you agree with their style or not, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's not about you. It's about the animals.
That's right. So somebody might, let's say, be in a rock and roll band or a punk band, and they might sing about the animals, and that's great. Somebody else might like to just help out anonymously in the comment sections. Like we have here some moderators that are great. I don't even know who they are. I've never met them, but they're consistently showing up to talk about the animals and to direct people to these important documentaries. Anybody who is here watching and wants to see, I'm just looking here. It says, "Watch Dairy is Scary" on YouTube. Somebody just wrote that down in the comments. But let's address this one first. You want to read this one?
Yeah, I'd love to read this one. I want to become vegan, but my parents are farmers, and lots of their income comes from farming and killing animals. Can I still be vegan? Yes, you can. Why not?
You can.
There are actually farmers themselves that have become vegan, cattle farmers, ranchers that have become vegan, dairy farmers that have become vegan. What is stopping you, Cloud9? I don't understand. Just because your parents are farmers. I mean, my parents brought me up to eat meat and dairy. I don't understand what the difference is. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to give you resources.
So what I would say to this person, Cloud9, is, and anybody who writes a question, if you talk about being a kid, it's really helps to give us context. If you're 13 years old, as opposed to, your parents could be farmers, but you could still be 22 years old. We don't really know, right? So for me to try to give you some advice, I'm gonna just go out on a limb here and assume that you're maybe, I don't know, 15, 17, I don't know. And so what I would say to you is that remember that being vegan is about the animals, and it is about doing the least harm possible. Now, if you're a teenager, and let's say or even younger, let's say you're 12 or 13 or younger, you don't have a lot of power in your house. Some parents I know, and this is why I talk about vegan phobia. Vegan phobia is real. I have had students tell me that when they decided to be vegan, their parents got so angry with them that they would just, they stop talking to them. They're just like, "Look, you're making this too hard on us. We're making one meal for everybody, and you're insulting us because you're not eating my whatever lasagna with meat and cheese in it." And instead of being vegan fantastic, which is a word I invented, which is the opposite of vegan phobic, these kids will sometimes get hit. I've had kids tell me that their parents said, "You cannot leave the table unless you finish your meat and your eggs, and you drink that glass of milk because you need that glass of milk."
You know what's so funny about that?
Horrible stuff.
You know what's so funny about that? It reminds me of when I was like 4 and my parents told me that I couldn't leave the table until I finished my peas. What happened between that time and being a teenager to where finishing your vegetables was important to finishing your flesh?
So so you're 18 and your parents want you to carry on the family business. Thank you for responding. So that's a tough one, because it depends.
There are people on the internet that are in the same situation.
Yes.
I wish I could send you the links to that, but I'd have to look them up.
What you can try to do is you can appeal to different organizations to help you fund this and try to turn this around. Is there any way to phase out the animals and to grow crops on your land instead? These are some things to think about. If you truly are vegan, I understand that this is a business that has been established and you're talking about losing thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't know how big this farm is, but if you really care about the animals, if you really do, you know that you cannot continue that family business. It's just wrong.
You know what? They're not looking at losing thousands of dollars. What they're looking at losing is losing subsidies, because people aren't going that way anymore. We are not buying meat and dairy anymore. The only reason that your family's business is open anymore is because of subsidies, and that's because of my tax dollars. And we're working on cutting that too. So yeah, I would really tell your family to start looking into alternative means.
Yeah, because whether you like it or not, the world is going to become more and more vegan. It doesn't even make as much,
whether you like it or not,
because it doesn't make as much financial sense to get milk from a cow as it does to get milk from oats, to have oat milk and soy milk. It just is going to end up, the more and more people start to drink these ethical products, the better, and to consume them. So, but I do understand. I mean, basically, if you're going to let the whole farm go, I mean, you could either walk away, but then maybe, I don't know if you have another sibling, someone else will take over. Personally, if it was me, I would say, yeah, I want the farm, mom and dad. I got this. Don't worry. You guys going to retire? I got it. And then I would sit there and go, oh my God, now what? And
turn it into a mushroom or oat or soy or whatever. Turn it into another farm.
And I don't know where your farm is too and what you're capable of growing there, but
we'd have to know the details.
Yeah, there's greenhouses, and there are vegans out there who are willing to help people like you. I'm not sure of an organization right now, but I know that there are ranchers who have turned them around. You can also turn your farm into a sanctuary where you basically just stop breeding. Don't accept any new animals. Don't allow them to keep breeding. And then their lives will come to a natural end at old age. And yeah, you'll still have the land, you'll still have the barns, and you'll be able to gradually find space to grow crops. This is ideal. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but if that was me,
farming's not easy. That's what I would do. Farming's not easy. I mean, even these people who cattle farm or sheep farm or goat farm or whatever farming, like using other animals, is not easy. And they always talk about how hard it is and how hard they work. Well, you know what? Start working with oats and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that, because the person sounds like they are really trying, and I wouldn't be mean that way. I find that
I'm not talking to that person. I'm talking in general. I'm talking in general.
Okay. Because
you
this
hear
person
all
really
these
sounds, yeah,
all these farmers that are always like, they're promoting, they're like, I work so hard. You don't understand how hard I work. I get up at 3 a.m. I get up at 4 a.m. and I work so hard, and I love my animals. I love my cows, and I shove my fist up their ass.
Well, okay, so what Stacy's referring to there, for those of you who are just joining us, is, first of all, she's being sarcastic. Because this is what these people say. They say they love their animals. Meanwhile, they put them on a truck and send them away to have their throats slit, and that is not love. Or when she's talking about putting their fist up their ass, what she means is that is how female cows are raped. Somebody takes a long glove, and puts it up, and inside there they find the cervix and they insert the sperm. This is sexual exploitation. This comes from males who are also masturbated. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. And it just has to stop. So there's a comment here by Carnism Debunked. Would you like to read it?
Yes, but I just want to finish that by saying that I'm just trying to say that these people use these excuses like you think why is there an echo? I've got headphones in.
I don't hear it myself.
I'm hearing it. I'm not hearing it now. Okay. So anyway, these people use this as an excuse, like, farming is so hard and I care about my animals so much. Well, you know what? If farming is so hard, then why is it so hard to grow oats? That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying to that person specifically. I'm saying in general, all these people that say how hard they work with farm animals, how hard they work. Why is it so hard to grow mushrooms and oats and soy and wheat? I just
So you're
change over. Just change over. So I'll read this. Carnism
okay.
debunked. There are programs by Vegan Society and Viva that help animal farmers turn their land into arable land. That's great advice.
Okay, great. Thank you, Carnism Debunked.
He's
Thank you
great.
so much.
That's George. That's great.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read this?
Yes, please.
Okay. Veganism is a philosophy and a way of living which seeks to exclude as far as possible and practicable, I can never say that word, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. Yes, that is the definition of veganism by Donald Watson.
Right. So thank you, Watch Dominion Movement. And also, everybody should watch Dominion Movement. It's an excellent documentary. Bring Kleenex. Don't bring popcorn. Sit quietly and really watch it. I tell people to bring a notepad and to write down the names of all of the animals that they see exploited in that movie. It's absolutely heartbreaking. So yeah, that's what veganism is all about. Just being as kind as you possibly can, going forward. Now, I tell people it takes 100 clicks until you become vegan. And this video here right now might just be one click. If somebody is just parachuted in here and doesn't even know what veganism is, they're starting from square one, they might get one click, one sort of thing that hits their head or their heart, and they might think, oh, veganism is something they're talking about. And maybe they've only ever seen videos here on YouTube about completely different subject. Maybe they watch basketball or whatever. So, we really have to understand us in the vegan world that some people are really coming from a place of not knowing anything. Other people are watching right now who probably can answer questions better than I can, who've been vegan longer than me. So the important thing is to just try your best to keep educating yourselves and really to open your heart to imagine yourself as a victim. And just think of that. And then veganism is
I think
easy.
that's a wonderful thing that you say is 100 clicks. I love that. I really love that.
And I talk about one of the things one of my favorite movies is less than 2 minutes long, and it's by PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. And it is about a young woman who at the beginning of the movie in January, and she is handed a flyer on the street from a bunch of vegans, and she looks at it and she crumbles it up, sticks it in her pocket, and doesn't even look at it.
I saw that. Yeah.
And that's click number one. She's not even want anything to do with them, but she's like, oh, vegans exist? Oh, that's weird. Oh, God. And then she goes on to make fun of vegans, and she's eating burgers. And then she starts seeing enough of these clicks in her neighborhood by so many different places, and one day she's sitting there, she's eating a burger, she's looking at her dog, but she keeps eating meat. So, but she's making, so that's why I say it takes 100 clicks. And that's why when people write to me and say, Miss Katie, I'm so grateful that you helped me to be vegan, and because of you, I'm vegan. I always say, thank you, but I refuse to take the full credit because I truly believe it's not me. I am maybe offering the 100th click when they've already had 99, or maybe I'm coming in at the beginning. But see,
have you ever? I'm sorry to interrupt.
I just want to say, but they'll see people like my guest here. Oh yeah, reverse this way, no this way. Her on my show, and then they might go to her channel, and then they might go from her channel to another person's channel, or she might stand up and she might show her shirt, her t-shirt, which has a message on it. And then, you'll get some more clicks, right? So what does yours say?
It says, what kind of animal rapes another just for milk?
Just for milk.
I wear that at the farmer's market. I get some looks.
And that's humans. Humans do that.
Yep.
They sexually assault cows in order to get their babies, murder their babies, and steal their milk. If you're against stealing, you must be vegan. That's what I say, because this is another thing I've been really thinking about lately, that veganism is basically a deal that you make with yourself that you're not going to steal. You're not going to steal the milk from a cow. You're not going to steal the eggs. You're not going to from chickens. You're not going to steal honey from bees. You're not going to steal the freedom of a horse by riding that horse and keeping it in captivity. You're not going to steal the lives of chickens, cows, pigs, lambs. Just don't steal.
Yeah. Have you? So I wanted to ask you, Miss Katie, have you heard of Michelle Lowe?
Yes.
She's a vegan psychologist, and she talks about the sleeper effect.
Yeah, it's similar.
And there goes the echo again.
So do you want to read this one?
Yes, I'll leave. I would love to read this. Here's a question. All right, I'm hearing echo.
I'm so sorry about that. I don't know why that happens. It comes and goes. I don't hear it at all myself. If anybody else is hearing it.
Is anybody else hearing it? I can't see the comments,
I'm sorry.
so I wouldn't know.
I don't know what to do. I'm not that great at the technology. I will read this if it bothers you.
I'm not hearing it now.
It's gone?
I don't know. Yeah, it's gone. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here's a question. How is BLM, homophobia, and LGBTQ plus related to being vegan? Also, yes, it's for the animals, but when comparing them to real world problems is out of context. Excuse me? First of all, let me answer the first part. How is BLM, homophobia, and LGBTQ plus related to being vegan? It's not.
It's not.
That's the whole point. Well, what's your problem? What, I mean, are you mad that somebody's not like putting you in the spotlight and they're putting the animals in the spotlight? Is that what you're mad about? Let me put it to you this way. How is animals being holocausted related to LGBTQ, homophobia, and BLM? So let me answer the next part of your question. Also, yes, it's for the animals. Yes, it is. But when comparing them to the real world problems out of context, how is it out of context? You know what? All our problems, if you haven't seen my video about this, all of our problems are related to how we treat animals. It was all based on how we treat animals.
Speciesism is the purest form of racism.
It is. It's the first form of ism that we learn. It's the first form of discrimination that we learn as children. Everything comes up from that. So if you think that your form of discrimination is more important, then you are looking at it the wrong way. Okay? The first thing you need to look at is your speciesism, because that is the first form of discrimination that happens.
So that, and some examples of that would be that when you're a kid, if you think it's funny to see a bunch of ants and step on them because you're just a kid at first, you might not realize that they are actually like living. You know, when you're really a little kid, it's no different than dust going by and you go like this, you know, and so if you have a parent that is loving and points out to you, hey, don't step on the ants. They're just, look closely. Like they have their own lives. You should not be a mean giant and kill them.
Remember when I was a little child, I remember using, what do you think what it's called?
Is this gonna hurt? Oh my God, what did you do?
No, I used not a microscope, but a magnifying glass. That's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't even think of it. Okay. Anyway, I remember using a magnifying glass and setting ants on fire when I was a kid. I had no idea. You know why? Because I was desensitized. I was desensitized by what I had been fed all my life. And that happens at a really early age. So when you say comparing their comparing them to real world problems is out of context, I think you're out of context. I think you are not understanding where this comes from.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And we have to forgive little kids who don't know better.
We
I
do.
mean,
No, we
but we
do,
have to
because we
teach them.
condition them. We condition those children. We forgive anyone who's ignorant. But if you're not ignorant, you have no excuse.
I guess I see kind of, yeah, I don't know. It affects me so much when I hear about animals being tortured, you know, and I'm not blaming you at all, Stacy. It's just, you know, there's one level of just stepping on the ant and you eliminate their life quickly. And that's what I see kids
You
in
don't kill
schoolyard.
an ant when you step on them. They're so small that they get under your feet. You ever notice that? No.
Well, no, I'm talking, you know, in all kinds of insects in the schoolyard where I would say, don't do that, stop that. And other teachers would be like, whatever. And I was just
No, I
horrified.
used to collect
It's
roly-polies. What are they called? Roly-polies. What is I don't know the scientific
Oh, it's
name.
okay. You know what? I know. I just, if you don't mind, I don't want to hear about all the terrible.
No, I used to collect them, and I took care of them like they were babies, and even lizards when I was a kid.
Yeah,
but I'm saying that, like, you're disconnected as a kid because that's what you're taught.
And
that's
you don't
you're
know
conditioned.
better.
You don't know better.
You don't know better.
Those people. I forgive those people. I forgive people who are ignorant, but I will not forgive anybody in this comment section, which I can't see, thank God. I will not forgive anybody in the comment section that's trying to say that they love to eat bacon, because you know better.
Right. Yeah, and I personally think that every school should be teaching what speciesism is and how it's wrong, and give many examples of it. And I also think that we should be teaching vegan phobia and how that's wrong. And people make fun of it when I say vegan phobia is real. I say it's as bad as racism. It's as bad as homophobia. And the reason that I say that is because a vegan is somebody who's an animal rights activist. And if you have a 5-year-old who's vegan and is trying to tell people, because that kid has grown up in a family that's caring, and that kid has been told that eating animals hurts them and eating animals is not okay, and that bacon over there that your friend is eating is a dead pig. A 5-year-old will go into school and just because they're so caring and so, you know, naive, will go around and tell even their teachers, you shouldn't be eating that salami sandwich. You know, that's a pig. That's a baby pig. Is 6 months old. And then the teachers who are vegan phobic will just like laugh in the kid's face instead of saying, oh my God, thank you for telling me, sweetie, and I'll put this away right now. You know, they don't do that. And if kids wave their salami sandwiches in another kid's face, the teachers, the school system they're not educated. They just don't give a shit. They will just say, oh, just stop it. Meanwhile, the kid is so aware of the animal suffering, and they see it everywhere. When free milk is given out at schools, what the kid sees is what they know, the truth of what happens in the dairy industry. And there is zero sensitivity for these kids. People just make fun of them. And meanwhile, the kid goes to the washroom and is like crying because they're like, oh my God, I feel like I live in a zombie world. And then kids do self-harm. They do. They don't want to live in a world because they are experiencing vegan phobia and dystopia. The anguish of living.
And we're experiencing that now.
I am personally experiencing dystopia. I know it. I know I'm experiencing suffering.
I even made a video about how I was ready to kill myself about 4 months ago. Okay. Oh. I put it on YouTube. It was because I lost my dog, my baby boy. I'm just done. I'm done with these people. I'm done. I'm done with the world. I'm done with everybody. It pisses me off. But you know what? I'm sticking around for the animals. I'm sticking around for the animals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know that my words probably mean nothing. I didn't know that about you, but I mean, it's, you know, it was hard for me when I had 1.7 million followers and I was kicked off of TikTok. And that was not because of an ego thing. It was simply because I realized that I had lost the ability to speak out on behalf of these animals, and they need our voices on TikTok and everywhere. So, but we are not in control of these things. I am not in control. I am here speaking out, whether there's 2 people here watching. Right now there's 126. Thank you, by the way, everyone who is here. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being open to being vegan. And yeah, we're here for the animals. That's it. I have done so many things in the past where I paid for people to hurt animals so that I could eat them, that I have to, for the rest of my life, try to make up for that. I feel immense guilt for that. So yeah. So
I was
anyways,
30. I was 36 when I became vegan. So, I mean, we were conditioned. We weren't born this way. When people say that we weren't born vegan, that's bullshit.
we are
We
born vegan.
were born vegan.
And
We
that's why,
were born
that's why
vegan. We were conditioned
yeah.
and we were brainwashed.
And this is why this is why when I talk about the LGBTQ, and I did on my TikTok account, I would say, look, you are born as a member of the LGBTQ, you know it. If you are, you know it when you're just really little. If you're lesbian, you know it when you're 5. I'm personally bisexual, and I knew it when I was really little. In kindergarten, I had a crush on a girl named Natalie. I was just like, thought she was super cute, and I always wanted to sit near her. And then when I was in grade 4, I had a crush on a boy. His name was Pierre, and he used to carry around these big frogs that I was kind of scared of. But he was just so cute and funny, and so I knew I was bisexual from a young age. And people don't understand that vegans are born vegan. Every single person on earth is born vegan. When we come out of our mother's womb, we drink our mother's milk. And yes, that is vegan, because people will say, oh, you're drinking your mother's milk. That's not vegan. Yes, it is, because you're not stealing
They're
from
being
another's.
facetious. We're all born vegan.
They are.
And
Yeah,
as
we're all
far
born.
as being LGBTQ or whatever like that, it's like that's fluid. It doesn't matter. You know what? I've had girlfriends. I've had affairs. I consider myself straight, but you know what? I still am very attracted to many women. Ellie, you know you are. Anyway. No, what I'm trying to say is that doesn't matter. We're not harming anybody by doing that. But we are harming people, we are harming non-humans by what we do to them.
So part of the thing,
you know what I mean? It's, my head goes so out there. I get so frustrated at this.
So I just wanted to say that part of the thing, that the reason that people got so upset with me as an animal rights activist on TikTok is because I would not let anybody off the hook. So I would say Black people should be vegan, and people would freak out.
Well, Black people should be vegan.
Because
so should white people.
That's what I said.
Anybody.
Yeah, people with pink hair, people with a few purple streaks, we should all be vegan. Gray hair, whatever. But
we have a bone to pick, by the way.
Right now, can it wait? Like, we only have 10 minutes after, off camera, whatever it is. I don't mind, honestly. But just, okay, I just want to say, and then I would say also that people, I would, like, if somebody was in a wheelchair, I would, on TikTok, I saw, I would say, hey, you should be vegan. And people are like, oh my God, she's ableist. She's picking on the people.
What does that have to do with them being
If you're in a wheelchair, it has nothing to do with anything. You can still be vegan. Yeah. And you can be vegan if somebody was 80 years old. I say, hey, you should be vegan.
What? If anything, it just like is it just is mean to people who are vegan that are in that situation. It's if somebody who is disabled is being vegan, and I happen to know people who are disabled that are vegan, and you're just disqualifying them by saying they can't be vegan. You're just that.
And then another one that people got very upset about is I said, people would say, well, I have an eating disorder, so I can't be vegan.
Oh my God.
And I said, well, what is your eating disorder? Because your eating disorder is you have to eat cats and dogs? What is it? What's your eating disorder? Yeah. Like if you're like if you have an eating disorder and your doctor says you have to start eating meat, like, seriously, what if you thought that? Would your doctor say, oh, yeah, okay, sorry, you have an eating disorder. Yeah, it's okay, you can eat a few cats and dogs. Like, of course not. So find yourself a good doctor.
That's a great analogy.
Right? So find yourself a good doctor who actually is going to help your eating disorder, but not include murdering animals. What does murdering animals have to do with your eating disorder? Like, you will get over it. Just leave all of those animals out of your shopping cart. Veggies, fruits, nuts, and seed. Put those in your shopping cart, because peace begins on your plate. So open up your heart. Be vegan. Everything is learned from childhood. We need to do better with education. That's the comment. Agree?
I agree.
Yeah. All right. What's this? You want to read?
It's that vegan teacher Italy. Oh, you have a vegan teacher in Italy?
People, I tell people in the comment section to write whatever, if they are a helper, I consider them to be teachers. You don't have to be a literal teacher. And
no, I'm saying that's their name. So anyway,
yeah,
I'll read it.
And write where they're from. Yeah.
Okay. There's no excuse for animal abuse, not religion, nor your social status, not your age, not your gender. Everyone must strive not to hurt animals. That's what being vegan means. I agree.
Yeah, that's great. Excellent.
I have done a series of vegans around the world, and no matter where I talk to them, it's the same story all over the world. It doesn't matter your social status. It doesn't matter where you live. We all share the same ordeals about being vegan. And the fact is, you can be vegan no matter where you live.
Right. And no matter your social status, no matter what your age, because it means you're simply doing your best at all times. And if you are a teenager and you want to be vegan, well, as I said, you are born vegan, but you want to return to your roots and you want to stop exploiting animals. And you're in a situation where you feel like it could be really dangerous to your health because of your parents. Maybe you have some crazy dad who says he's going to hit you if you don't eat your whatever animal they put on your plate. You do the best that you can. You have a right to survive.
If there's anybody out there that's suffering by their family, like ostracizing them, listen, when you become vegan, you build a new family. And when you become an adult, you build a new family. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. You can find an entire community who will support you, and you simply do the best. But what I do tell the average person is, if you are a teenager and you want to become vegan, do your best to try to be patient with your parents, because it took you 100 clicks to get to where you are. And your parents might just be like, what? You want to do what? And all they're thinking about is their traditions and their recipes. And you gotta help out. You can't just say, I want to be vegan, and then just refuse to eat your vegetables. Like, your parents are going to be like, oh, fuck, this is never going to work. They're never going to believe you. You have to really participate in the shopping and the cooking and educating your parents by showing them the important documentaries: Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives, Dominion Movement, Earthlings, on and on. There's lots of them. People can put them in the comments.
Here's the thing that I've learned with all my interviews. Don't worry so much about try, do it. Yes, continue to try to turn your family and your friends vegan, but that's the last people you're going to turn vegan.
Those are the last ones that you're ever going to be able to make it.
Don't get upset.
Every vegan that I've ever talked to, like, I think there was one family once that I heard about like 4 years ago, but every single vegan that I ever talked to, when I say to them, say it's you on the show, I might say to you, hey, Stacy, surely you must have convinced your whole family to be vegan, and they're all in the comment section right now helping out, right? And most likely it's like, no, because family, for some bizarre, I think we should write a thesis about this. Somebody should write a thesis about what is it about family? Because I happen to have family members, quite a few, that are vegan, but it took a while. It wasn't just like this. And I'm super proud of them, but they are not public people like me. I mean, you can understand maybe why. They don't want to have cameras all around their house. They don't want to have death threats, but I am very proud of them. And more and more, I hope that more of them are going to continue. What, you want to read this comment?
Yeah. I love learning about all the different nutritious and tasty plant foods, fruits, veggies, nuts, beans, seeds, herbs, and grains. Okay, great.
Yes.
Pick a better comment. Come on. Let's get something we can argue about.
I love this comment, and I love Has Vegan is extremely a wonderful supporter and always writing some great positive things, because
Has Vegan.
Yeah, because this is the truth of it, is that there's many people who are just dropping in and they have no idea what veganism is. And again, these are the important documentaries. Seaspiracy is a relatively new one, and it talks about our connection to the oceans and how important it is that
Actually, Seaspiracy came out years ago on YouTube, and I posted it, and many other people posted it, but it got picked up by Netflix soon. It's no longer available by the original poster.
Oh, okay.
I have a friend who's vegan, and I'm currently pescatarian. What are your thoughts on pescatarian? I think fish have feelings. They're meat. They're animals, just like anyone else.
I think you have a friend who's vegan. So why are you asking us what we think about pescatarians? We are vegan animal rights activists. We think that pescatarians are murderers. That's what we think. I mean, you should not be eating you shouldn't be eating any dairy or any eggs or anything, any animal products at all. I mean,
Seaspiracy, motherfucker.
Why are you not vegan? I'll ask you that. Why are you not vegan? If you have a friend who's vegan, is your friend actually vegan or just somebody who likes to eat a lot of vegetables? Are they just a plant-based person? Because if your friend is vegan, then and truly cares about the animals, then that should be your best friend. Go hug your friend and say, man, I love you. Or if it's girl, whatever, just say, let's do this. And
don't hug them, punch them, punch them.
No, hug your vegan friend and go and say to your vegan friend, let's. Okay. No, love is the answer. Nobody punches or hits anybody. No, we have to be loving. And
nobody loves anybody.
Go ahead. Yeah, love's a whole other topic. Yeah. I'd like to have a whole discussion one day with somebody about unconditional love, because personally, I don't actually believe in unconditional love. I think I'm the only person I know who thinks that way, but I think all love is conditional, unless it's for a brand new baby, or maybe
my dog Johnny had unconditional love. That's the only one in my life that had unconditional love.
Yeah. Yes, but one could argue that your dog is still your prisoner because they love you because they know you feed them.
He's my prisoner because he's in here.
Yeah. Well, that was before, I'm saying. I'm just saying that it seems like dogs have unconditional love, but I think they are wonderful. But I don't know. I need to think about it. So, yeah, sorry. So Red X, please be vegan. Please stop hurting animals. It's not okay. Go and do the research, watch all the documentaries, and then go and join Challenge 22 and learn how to be vegan and what to eat. But if you have a vegan friend, it's easy.
You and I need a part 2 on my channel. We'll talk about dogs and unconditional love.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. Okay,
my dog was vegan for 13 years.
No, this isn't. I saw one that was addressed to you about PETA. Oh, here.
What are my thoughts on PETA? Do you think they're a good organization or they hurt the cause? I'm not a fan of PETA.
Why?
But I think no, I'm not going to go into that here.
Okay.
But I will support anybody who is standing up for the animals. I think Ingrid Newkirk is Satan, but
wow, that's a harsh accusation.
Well, okay, I said it.
Why? What do you think she does? What am I missing? To me, she is a person.
This is 15 years of me researching, and I've made plenty of posts on my own Facebook, and I'm not going to go into it here.
Okay. Well, personally, I don't know what
I support my friends who do PETA stuff. I support some of their messages. I think PETA should be in charge of doing advertisement for veganism, but I don't think they should have anything to do with being in charge of care for animals.
Okay. I don't know. I've heard some things about what's happened, and all I've said is like the way that okay. First of all, PETA, for anybody who doesn't know, stands for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. And they're an organization based in, where are they actually? I forget now. Probably but Ingrid Newkirk is, sorry?
I think California. I mean, California.
No, I don't. I think isn't she British? But I feel for some reason that
Well, it
they are.
doesn't
Anyway,
have to do with where she is at. It
you're
has to
right.
do
It
with
has
where
nothing to
the
do with anything.
yeah.
But I forget. I thought they were somewhere in the southern USA. I don't know.
I think they're in
Anyway,
Southern California.
Okay. Anyway, I want to say Florida, but I don't know. Anyway, so Ingrid Newkirk is the one who started PETA, and everything that I've ever read about her intentions seem to be very good. She doesn't believe in eating animals, wearing them, exploiting them, using them for any reason whatsoever. So I have nothing but support for somebody who has those values. I don't know about other things that have happened. I think that the organization at its heart has the best of intentions. If something has happened, something where apparently something happened where a bunch of animals were brought and needed to be euthanized, and I did not do a lot of research, so I apologize if I'm speaking and I'm making some errors, but my understanding is that they were in a position of people were leaving animals that were really sick, been hit by cars, were bleeding, different things, and they were just dumped on them. So I said to them, I said, look, if people in my neighborhood know that I am that vegan teacher, and they started doing that to my home, started bringing me all kinds of animals who are deeply suffering, I am a firm believer in euthanasia. I worked as a registered nurse for 25 years. I know what suffering looks like. It is absolutely horrible. And I hope that if I'm ever suffering, that somebody will put me to sleep, will put me out of my misery if I am in a state where I'm in extreme distress and I will never get better. So that's what I hope. And I think that we already know. We do that already for our pets. When we have a dog with cancer or a dog that's been hit by a car, and you know that they're
pets.
Sorry?
Please stop saying pets.
Yeah, I say pets, but animal companions. Yeah. And so if this is the case, then we care deeply about them. We don't want them to suffer. And so we euthanize our companions, our furry companions or non-furry companions, pets, whatever you want to call it. And so if that's what happened with PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, then I don't see that is a problem. I believe in my heart that they did the best that they could, but I don't really know what's going on. So,
well, it was not their place to go and round up these animals in the first place. Okay.
I didn't realize that's what happened. What happened? What is the story? What do you actually know the story?
I'm talking about like I stopped researching them years ago, but
okay.
At least 10 years ago, they were rounding up cats. They were like going and picking up neighborhood cats, and listen.
Oh, come on. Something that happened 10 years ago because one or two people.
You know what? It's nothing I could show you links to right now. So
right.
that would be another situation. That would be another conversation.
Right. I'm not about to trash PETA, because I don't have anything.
No, I'm not trashing PETA myself. I'm saying that no, I'm not a fan. I think Ingrid Newkirk is. I don't like her. Okay,
but based on what? Based on what?
But that's the thing. I would have to go and get you all the links as to based on what.
No, just say what
years ago.
No, but in your view, do you think that this person cares about the animals and is trying her best to save them? Yes or no?
No.
So you think that this person who started this huge animal rights organization and has been working tirelessly for years has some ulterior motive to what?
I don't think she has an ulterior motive.
Okay.
I just don't think that she has the best motive in place.
I don't follow. What do you think is there?
I don't know what to tell you. I would have to go get you links. And
no, you don't,
because spend an hour here to give you links?
No, because you just said that you think that she is, what was your word? The devil, trash, something, some big, that's a big accusation for a leader of an organization who people donate money to. And I don't want to dissuade anyone to donate money to an animal rights activist.
PETA went around and they went and they grabbed a bunch of cats.
Stop for a second. We're not talking about whoever worked for them right now or whoever volunteers or whatever the fuck happened back then. You're accusing the leader of the organization right now. You said that Ingrid Newkirk was I forget your word. Somebody can write it
Okay,
down.
do you want to go and you could just easily Google how she felt about euthanizing animals? She
Well,
was happy to do it.
and so am I. I am happy to euthanize animals if they are suffering, and that is the right thing to do. If you have an animal,
when she worked at a shelter, there is, and this was years ago, and I'd have to go back and look at links, but this is where I got my ideas. Okay, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But you know what? What I read years ago was that she was happy as a shelter organizer to euthanize animals.
Okay, well, do you have any idea how many lies are told about me? Do you know that people say that I ran over somebody? They say that I still eat at McDonald's now. These are lies. They say that I broke Canadian laws. They say that I am against the LGBTQ. They say that I am racist. They say that I'm anti-Semitic.
Do you think that I really listen to that kind of stuff?
My point is that my point is that you are saying that you are talking badly about Ingrid Newkirk and that you have no basis for doing that because you just said
I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings.
No, it's not about my feelings. I'm just saying that you are trashing a person about something that you read in an article a while back. And
actually, I didn't trash anybody at all. I just tried to tell you what my opinion was.
Well, if you're telling us that she is Satan, or what was your actual word? It was either.
I said that's my opinion.
Okay, but you know that's you got 114 people here watching, and they are people who are new. Maybe this is somebody who was just about to write a check to PETA. And
I don't think Ingrid Newkirk is watching, so I'm not too worried.
I'm not talking about her. It's the point is that this is an animal rights organization that is deeply caring about saving animals. They give out free stickers. They do advertisements. They give money to organizations. They help fund court cases when people need money who have saved animals, who have gone into to buildings to try to save animals. You can go there and ask them. They will give you some money to help support. Like I just would not say anything bad about them unless I had some real evidence about that. So
okay,
I could be wrong too. I could be wrong, but I just think that I need to defend her because I just feel like what I heard is just the total opposite of. I've seen this woman in so many interviews, and when I hear her talking about the animals, she has nothing but compassion and love in her heart. I don't think she wants to do any harm whatsoever.
Okay. So can we rewind a little bit? Miss Katie, you asked me to read the comment that's up on the screen right now.
Right.
And it asked me, what are your thoughts on PETA? And I said what my thoughts were on PETA.
You started to trash the leader, the founder.
I answered a question that you asked me to read.
Okay, so if anybody is able to do some research right now who's watching, and you find a link or any kind of quote, let us know, because now we are at 1 hour and 7 minutes into this, and I would like to have some information because I don't feel right about this. Like, what is this? I just read a comment that said, Miss Katie never killed anybody. Thank you. You see, there's all kinds of crazy rumors out there, and that's why I get really upset when I hear people.
Well, I'm sorry, I wasn't as popular as you. That I murdered somebody. I don't know. You know, I'm not accusing you of murdering anyone, so I don't know what that has to do with our conversation.
My point is that we should not listen to all the rumors, and we should really find out what's going on. And we shouldn't be trashing people. You
think in my 15 years of veganism that I am stupid enough to listen to rumors?
No, I don't know you. My first time meeting you. But I do know that.
But I would like to think that you would understand that I am a little bit smarter than that.
Good to know. All
Maybe you don't believe that. I don't know.
No, I don't. Okay, so here we have somebody who's saying something. Okay, Peter murdered stray cats instead of carrying them for them veganly. Okay, so where's the evidence of this? They murder stray cats. Okay, so listen to this. This is I'm taking the side. I am looking at the best possible situation out of this, because people are constantly trying to make veganism seem like it's a radical thing to do, and it is not. So what I'm saying is, when you see this bullshit comment here that they murder cats, okay, so you're trying to tell me that an animal rights activist, an animal protection organization, they just decide to just randomly murder cats. First of all, no fucking way did they do that. That just doesn't make any logical sense. Now, if they're, as I said before, if people are dumping animals on them who are suffering, who they just want to abandon, okay? People have animals. Their cat gets hit by a car. You know what they do? Instead of paying the vet bill,
PETA doesn't have a fucking shelter, so I don't
think to
understand
themselves,
why.
well, I'm just going to bring this over to PETA and just leave this animal who's suffering, crying with bleeding legs. And what do they want PETA to do? You know, PETA is going to
who brings their injured animal to PETA?
I don't know. I'm just saying that this doesn't make any sense to me. This comment and the rumors that are going around, unless somebody proves to me somehow that this is true. I actually, if anybody knows Ingrid Newkirk, I would like her to come here on this show, and I would like to talk to her and have her talk about what's going on. And if she says,
I would like that.
And if she says, yeah, that's what we do here at PETA. We like to murder animals, stray cats, for no fucking reason.
She's going to say that.
What? Yeah.
She's going to say that. Yeah.
Well, maybe I don't know. You know, we're just guessing.
You got a little worked up there. So,
because I care about animals, and I don't want to trash an organization or any person.
We all care about animals on the stream, but I'm thinking you're caring about this organization a little bit more.
I don't even know the organization. All I know is that
Then why are you getting so fucking worked up?
Because they are called People for the Ethical.
It's because of their name?
Because that's what they stand for, as far as I know. And I don't let anybody just dump on an organization and then just come on my channel and just leave it at that. So that's all I want to make sure.
I didn't dump on anything.
Great. Well, we will rewind this video, won't we? And now we're at, you know what? This is the most people we've had watching. It's 143, and I was about to hang up now. But you know why they're watching? Because we're arguing.
Are you going to hang up on me?
That's what's bullshit about this. Why do we have to argue in order to maintain an audience? Why can't we just talk nicely and be sweet?
I thought I was.
Watch, I'll be so sweet. And you know what? Instantly, we're going to lose 40 people. Like, oh, this is boring. Anyway, I'm not here to argue. I'm here to save animals. So, but I think this was a good talk. I am very curious I'm going to go and do some research after this about this organization, because people bring it up all the time. And every time I've done some research, I've never really seen anything. But, and in the comments, I'm very disappointed that nobody's written anything that's in the least bit helpful. You know, anybody who knows anything about them would be great if somebody wrote something like, hey, refer to this article, or yeah, actually the rumor is true, or it's not true because of da 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 da. I'm going to give you guys another 3 minutes. If anybody says anything helpful.
I'm not saying anything against people. You know what? I'm not saying it. You asked my opinion. You asked me to read that comment. You asked my opinion, and I gave it.
All right. Okay. Let's see if there's any.
And if you would like articles or whatever where I got my opinion from, I could easily, spend days and days to look those
up. Here's something.
15 years ago.
Do you want to read this comment?
Sure. There was this weird cult in PETA where they believed that all pets should be killed because they don't have freedom, no matter how loving the home was.
Okay, so they're ethical vegans. What's wrong with that? First of all, it's not a cult. There's not a cult inside of PETA, Random Vegan Banana. I know you are a supporter of mine, but I don't like to call it a cult, because that's not what it is. So if they believe that all pets should be killed because they don't have freedom no matter what, I don't think that's what PETA is saying, that they should be killed. They are simply saying we shouldn't be raping animals into existence. We shouldn't be breeding them. And they are also saying, because many people do not feed their pets, their animal companions, vegan food, that it is not okay to have, for example, I'm just guessing now, right? I'm just imagining what PETA is saying is that if you go and you adopt a cat, you saved this cat's life. And that's great, because you haven't, bred them into existence, which is, of course, just something that should never happen. So you go and adopt a cat and you've saved this cat's life. But now what are you going to do? Now you're going to pay a bunch of other people to murder a bunch of other animals to feed it to your cat, because you think that your cat needs to eat other animals. So what makes you think that the life of your cat that you just adopted is more important than the lives of the chickens, cows, and pigs, and lambs, and turkeys that you have just paid somebody to murder to feed your cat? So PETA, from what I
Didn't you just
understand,
do an interview with somebody who does vegan cat food?
I did. Yeah. Yeah, vegan cat food exists. And that would be a solution to all
I
of
agree
this.
with you that cats are an invasive species. I will say that. Cats are an invasive species. I've already done a video on that. And if you can't feed your cats vegan, then this is a problem, and cats are a problem anyway. And I know people are going to hate me because everybody loves cats. So, and I don't. And so in a way, I am
But
on
this has
PETA's
nothing to do.
side. I
this is
am
not-
on PETA's side in a way.
Okay, but yeah, well, great. So, but this again, this is not about your personal feeling whether you like cats or dogs, or we are.
I
a cat
know
person
it
or dog
isn't.
person, right?
But what I'm trying to say is, but you're trying to, like, you're going off about PETA, about like how you think that they're so perfect, and they're not perfect.
I
They
never
have
said that.
killed animals.
I never said that. I never said
Okay.
they were perfect. So
Okay,
what I'm
I'm
saying,
sorry.
so
I'm
here,
sorry.
okay, what I'm saying here, so all pets should be killed because they don't have freedom no matter what. So where Stacy and I agree is that it is wrong to breed animals into existence. And unless you are feeding your pets vegan food, you are paying other people to murder for those animals. So I have a dog. My dog eats vegan food. So therefore, there's no dead animals that come into my home. I try super hard to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, maybe sometime I've bought something like I don't know, I don't actually know about this. When it comes to, like, I know that certain glues are made, for example, from animals. So it horrified me one time when I bought a pad of sticky notes, and I thought, it dawned on me after, like, oh my God, like maybe there's animal glue on there, right? So, I mean, this is the extent that we go to. We do our absolute best at all times. That's what being vegan is all about. So if you are going to get a cat or a dog, you're going to have this companion in your home or whatever animal, do your best to make sure to not pay other people to murder for that animal, because what makes you think that one is more valuable than another?
I agree with that.
High five.
You want to end on a good note?
We should end on a good note.
Okay.
Well, you know what? It's interesting, right? I mean, we're both very passionate.
It was
interesting. We're both on the same
I
side.
loved it. I loved it. Thank you, Miss Katie. Thank you.
And thank you for coming on. Thank you, everybody in the comment section. Thank you, everybody who's contributed and in any way whatsoever, whether it's by comments, by a donation. Really appreciate it. And I maybe we'll be talking again another time, because we clearly both have a lot to say.
I hope we will talk again. Maybe you'll come on my channel, okay?
Maybe, yeah. Oh,
let's
and if you
talk about hair dye and makeup.
Fuck that. That ain't gonna happen. I'm not talking about hair and makeup. Fuck, no way. That's where I start swearing. I can't stand crap like that. Like things that I don't care about that. I care about the animals, or making the world a better place.
Do.
Oh my God.
Care about
Here you go. Here's my subscribe button. Subscribe, please.
Thank you for my grading earlier.
Oh, yes. And subscribe to Stacy's channel too. Her channel is called Trash Carcass.
Trash Carcass.
What a terrible name. What the hell is that?
By
the way,
what
is that?
All right, there, my light just went off. That means we're on too long. Trash Carcass, it means that I am the shell of all the shit that you fed me.
Okay. All right. Okay. But you know what? Honestly, I think you should change your name. You know why? I was making your thumbnail.
I had it since the 80s, so I'm not changing it.
My special guest, Trash Carcass. It just makes you sound like a 15-year-old who's like a punk rocker and is just.
I am a 15-year-old. It's a punk rocker. That's when I got it in the 80s, and it's Trash Carcass because that was supposed to be my art project. I am the shell of all the shit that you've given me. And anyway, have you ever heard of shoe on head? She has a huge following, and her name is Shoe on Head.
And you know what? The Beatles became famous, and I would never have picked that name for them. Hey, but it turns out it's vegan after all. Bye.
All right, I love you. Mean it.
Bye.